Hello there, my name's Claire and this is Stitch Home Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video, which is a Friday Sews video. So welcome along, thank you for joining me, and I will get cracking on everything that I've been up to in terms of sewing over the last few weeks. Now it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I last put out a Friday Sew, so apologies for being missing in action, but I'm back today to tell you all about what I've been up to. So in terms of why I've not been around, I'm afraid it's not particularly interesting, other than the fact that life has just got in the way a little bit and something had to give, and I'm afraid that was recording and editing videos. So apologies for that, but hopefully you'll forgive me and you'll enjoy today's video. So I have been doing some sewing whilst I've been missing in action, so let's get cracking on what I've been up to in terms of sewing over the last couple of weeks. So the first thing that I got sewn up, well, I say the first thing I'm going to show you, I can't really remember what order I did it in, was my son, my older son, has been growing like a weed and has grown out with so many things in his wardrobe, and obviously with this hot weather that we've been having over the last few weeks, I have to say it's not quite so hot today, but we have been having some really hot weather here in the UK, and my son was really struggling for shorts. So I spent some time changing loads of his jogging bottoms that had holes in the knees and his school trousers that were too short but still fit around the waist into shorts that he could wear. I'm not going to show you those because quite frankly it's a little bit boring, but that was some of the sewing that I've been doing. I also whipped up this very quick pair of shorts. This is made from a viscose linen fabric that I had left over. I had a small bit left over actually that I would never have been able to use for anything for myself because it was a bit of an odd shape. But I've managed to squeeze out a pair of shorts. Now I made some Pomona pants by Anna Allen out of this particular fabric, and I've whipped up a pair of little shorts, well, biggish shorts, for my older son out of this fabric. I used the bobbins and button free pattern that they've got, shorts pattern, came together super easy, super quick, and it's just another pair of shorts. They're probably not his favourite, to be honest with you, but he was distinctively lacking, so he has worn them a couple of times, and I'm sure he will continue to wear them when his other favourite ones are in the wash. Now another item that I've made fairly recently, in fact I think I only finished it yesterday, was this jumper that I'm wearing here. Now I've sewn this up for the So Fruity challenge that has been run by the lovely Yvette from Blossom Sandwich, and the idea behind that challenge is to sew up your fruity fabric, or fruity themed fabric, or fruity inspired fabric. So it could be something that is a gorgeous sort of mandarin orange colour, or a lovely red that reminds you of raspberries or strawberries or something, but I went for something that's very obviously fruity. This fabric I've had in my stash since last year because I bought it in mind for So Fruity last year, but unfortunately it took ages and ages to arrive and the challenge was over and done with. So it sat in my stash for the year, and I have sewn up this particular jumper. I've chosen to use some sort of, would you call this an old navy kind of colour, a light navy basically kind of colour fabric to pick out the sort of the blue. It is not perfect match, but it's pretty close, so I'm pretty chuffed with that. I think it's come out quite well. I'll pop in a picture of me wearing it. It is the Hug Hoodie by Made It Patterns. Now unfortunately this is a pattern where the company are no longer trading, but I know that there will be lots of you that have already got this particular pattern because it was quite a favourite when it was around. So yeah, I really like it. Obviously I haven't done the hoodie version, but you can do it. But what I do like is the lovely crossover detail that you get at the front, which I just think kind of elevates it from your basic sweatshirt. So as I say, I'll pop in a picture of me wearing it. Now another couple of items that I have made are for a blog post that I have been doing for the lovely UK Fabrics online. Now they sent me some gorgeous fabric, and the idea is that you make whatever you want up with it. So I have made a skirt. Now I've been banging on about making a skirt for ages, and you guys have been really helpful in giving me lots of ideas of skirt patterns, which I am still looking at, and there will definitely be ones that I do choose to make. But what I've done is hacked a pattern that I already had in my stash. Now, you will probably know from watching my channel before that I have made the Jennifer Lauren Bastion culottes previously, and I've really liked that particular pattern. It gives a lovely flat front to it, and I think that works really well for me because then there's no gathering, and I don't have any kind of bunching at the back from any elastic or anything. And so what I've done is hacked that culottes pattern into a skirt, and this is what I've come up with. Now, for all intents purposes, it's exactly the same as the culottes, apart from the fact that I've cut everything on the fold, and obviously I haven't got the bit where you would have more fabric for your legs. And actually I think it's turned out really well. You get into the skirt in exactly the same way as the culottes. It's got these lovely great big pockets. You can undo one side to get into the skirt, or both, but you don't really need to do that. And I just think this has turned out really, really well. I'm really pleased with it, and I think I'll get quite a lot of wear out of it, both in summer and in winter, because I think I can pair it with some black tights. I think it'll look great. Pair it with a black t-shirt. I think that'll look great for winter as well as summer. Now, I had a little bit of this fabric left, and so I have made a little matching top. Now, I have used a pattern by Seamwork. It used to be a Colette pattern. It's a free pattern. The name of it has gone from my head completely, and I've sewn up this version. Now, I've had to crop it because I didn't have enough fabric for the length, and so it does come out just below the waistband on the skirt. Now, I wear the skirt as a high-waisted skirt, so it's fine. It's not like I'm flashing loads of tummy or anything, but because of it being made in a cotton poplin fabric, it doesn't have the drape that perhaps I would like, so it doesn't work quite as well as I would like. But yeah, I think as a little cute additional top when to use up some fabric, I think it's quite nice. And I just need to see if I can make it work a little bit better, but I'm quite pleased with the outcome. It's got a bias bound finish around the neckline and around the armholes, which I think worked quite nicely. And yeah, so that's my sort of my combo, if you like. So you could wear it together as kind of a dress, faux dress, or obviously as two separates. So quite pleased with that. Another item that I've made in the last few weeks is a t-shirt, with the idea that I could pair it with this particular skirt as well, and it is the Laundry Day tee by Love Notions. Again, this is a free pattern which I believe you can get if you sign up to their Facebook group. So, and it also comes in lots of different versions. You can do sleeveless, you can do a tunic length, you can do a dress length. So for a free pattern, you kind of get your money's worth. You know what I mean? You're not actually paying for it, but you know what I mean. Lots of longevity in the actual pattern. You can do a round neck, a scoop neck if you like, or a v-neck. I've gone for a v-neck on this option because I really quite like a v-neck. I think it really suits my body shape. It comes with quite a, it's sort of more fitted around the bust and then goes out at the waist and hips. When I'm wearing it with that particular skirt, I actually preferred it tucked in, I think, with it just sort of blouson out a little bit. I think that works quite nicely, but equally with a different outfit, I would potentially wear it out, more likely wear it out. But yeah, really pleased with how this one has come together, and this fabric thank you to whoever had popped it on the swaps table at lovely Catherine's from Soverton Makeries sewing social, because I picked it up from there. So thank you to whoever that was. So that's everything that I've been making. I have got a couple of things to show you and a few things to tell you. Before I move on, you may have noticed that my hair looks slightly different. It's a little bit shorter than it was before, and I've got a little bit lighter. I've always been much more of a blonde base, but in more recent years I'd kind of left it to go to my natural colour, which I hadn't seen for many years. I'd always been more of a blonde as a child and through my teenage years, and then I guess over the years my hair's got darker, but I'd always been dyeing it, so I didn't actually know what colour it was. But the sort of the browny colour, I guess, is now my natural hair colouring, but I've just gone a little bit more lighter for summer. Now, my hair was very professionally and well done by the lovely Adam from Adam Sews, who that's his profession, that's his trade, and so he came to my house because we don't live that far away from each other, and we had a lovely morning whilst he did my hair and talked about sewing. But he was extremely naughty because I found out after he had left my house that it was actually his birthday that day, and I didn't know anything about it. So I'd sent him a message telling him he was very naughty, and that had I known that it was his birthday, that I would have, you know, made a bit of a fuss of him, got him a cake, etc., or something at least to mark the occasion. So it's in my diary. He will not get away with it for next year. So the lovely Adam also dropped off, not that day, but a week or so later, a cutting mat for me, which was incredibly kind of him. So thank you, Adam. I'm not going to show it to you. You all know what a cutting mat looks like. It's an A1 size cutting mat, and I've already got one, but actually I had been thinking about for a really long time getting a second one, but just hadn't quite got round to it. Adam had bought this a little while ago, but wasn't finding that he was using it, so he very kindly brought it over for me. So thank you, Adam, so kind. I've already used it. It's making my cutting out experience much easier because I can butt the two mats up together. I haven't got to try and shuffle stuff around whilst I'm cutting out on the dining room table. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Adam. Now, I possibly have received a couple of other things in the post over the last few weeks, but I just can't remember. But these are two of the things that have arrived. Now, the first one is some buttons, some of these little pink buttons. Hopefully that will show up reasonably okay. From the lovely Jazz and Wow, which is what Bex Sews little business that she's got on Etsy. And these gorgeous little clear buttons that have got a hint of pink in. I just think they're so sweet, and I haven't got a purpose for them in mind as yet, but I saw them on her Etsy shop and I was just drawn to them and I had to buy them. So thank you, Bex, they're beautiful. Now, the other thing that I bought was a piece of fabric, and it was from a D-stash, and it is this gorgeous viscose fabric that's got a navy base that might be coming up a black kind of colour, but it is definitely navy. And it's got these pink leaves on, should I say, not leaves, with green stems, and I was just really drawn to it. Now, I don't do a lot of light pink, but I think because it's got the dark base, it's great, and I always love anything that's got green in. I just love it. So I am thinking that I might do either a sagebrush top or a Donny shirt. I think that would be really nice. Or potentially a Helen's Closet Gilbert shirt, although that takes slightly more fabric, as I recall. So hopefully I've got enough fabric to squeeze out the Donny. It's not particularly wide, this fabric. I'll have to have a play around and see what I can make. But I don't know, you know when a fabric just sort of speaks to you, and this is one of them. So it is Friday the 30th of June. I need to get this pictured and online so that I can enter into the So Fruity challenge. So the other challenge that I was really hoping to enter this month, and I may still get it done because it is not far off finished, but I've only got the rest of today to do that, plus get videos edited, etc, etc, is the named clothing kilo wrap dress. This is something that I've been wanting to make for a really long time, and so kind of fit the bill for that particular challenge. Now I have made my donation already. I made that early on in the month because it was definitely a challenge and a cause that I wanted to support, but I'm not sure that I'm going to get it done and ready to actually enter the challenge, but I definitely wanted to be kind of part of it. So I will finish it, I just might not have entered it in time for the challenge. So that's my initial plan for the week. I haven't got to thinking about what else I'm going to make this week. Maybe a Donny shirt might be quite nice. We'll see what happens. So I think that rounds it up for me today. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for coming back. Apologies I haven't been around for a couple of weeks, but I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really love it if you consider doing so. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you again really, really soon. Take care. Happy sewing. Bye bye.